Now we've seen a good sampling of topics around using Bokeh for basic plotting and for creating interactive visualization applications. There's certainly more that can be learned, but this is a great foundation, so let's put the things together we've seen so far and make a single interactive application with a plot and several controls for changing the visualization. For this case study, we will use a subset of the Gapminder dataset. This data has a number of indicators for measures such as population, life expectancy, fertility rates, GDP, and child mortality. These indicators are available for different countries over a number of years. You can see the structure of our Gapminder data frame here. We will take this data and use it to fashion the app shown here. There are drop-downs that can be used to select two of the indicators and a slider to control the year. These selected indicators are plotted in a scatter plot shaded by the region of the world they are associated with. Scrubbing the slider allows to move the displayed data forward and backward through time. This example is possibly familiar. It is similar to a famous presentation made by Hans Rosling. We will see how Bokeh can be used to make powerful visualizations in just a small amount of Python code. First, let's examine the data and create an exploratory plot to get a feel for things. Then we will dive into starting the app in the next section. Let's get started building a Bokeh app around the Gapminder data. In this chapter, we will add a plot and a slider to control which year of the data we want to view. Recall the basic app outline from the beginning of chapter 3. There is some standard code at the beginning and end. Then, roughly, we create plots and widgets, add callbacks, arrange plots and widgets in layouts. In this section, we will create a basic plot first. After the first two exercises, you will see an app similar to this. It's nothing fancy yet, just a scatter chart shaded according to region. We will add some interactions straight away. In the last two exercises, we will add a slider and hook it up to our plot. We can use it to select data for different years, and for good measure, we'll make sure to update our plot title to reflect what year we are looking at. As a reminder, here's an outline of a code for adding a slider and a callback. Here's what the app will look like at the end of section 2. In this next section, we will continue to enhance our application. We will add a hover tool to display more detailed information about each scatter point. We will also add a pair of drop-down menus so that we can choose exactly which columns we'd like to see plotted together. Here's a code snippet to remind you of what adding a hover tool looks like. The main thing to remember is that the tooltips argument accepts a list of tuples that have the legend label and a corresponding expression to display. In this case, we will add a simple hover tool that displays the country for each bubble whenever the mouse hovers over it. Finally, we will add a couple of drop-down menus. We will let users select column names from the drop-downs for the X and Y axes, and then update the plot accordingly. Recall that the select class accepts the arguments options, value, and title as demonstrated here. When we're all done, we will have the application shown here. So here we are at the end of the course. Let's take stock of everything we've seen so far and also see where we can go for more information. Over the course of this introduction to Bokeh, we've seen the Bokeh.plotting interface for basic plotting, how to customize plots and add layouts and interactions, and finally the power of the Bokeh server for creating richly interactive visualization applications. I hope this tour has been helpful and gives you an idea of how you might use Bokeh productively in your own work. I also hope you will become active in the Bokeh community. There are more and more people ready to answer and ask questions and to join in the development. For a high-level overview of all the different community resources that are available, check out the Bokeh organization blog at https://bokeh.github.io and look for the Guide to Resources blog post. Thanks again. I look forward to seeing all the things that you create.